Hello guys, welcome to BIM Nova channel, and today we are interviewing two of the champs from Brazil. So what first got you interested in lean construction and how did you ended up working in lean?
I was always a fan of the construction site itself. Main interest was being there, close to where things happen, as we say in the lean philosophy, close to the Gemba.
When did you first hear about BIM and what was your initial reaction to it?
I actually, on my master's, my thesis on how to do automation check on BIM models. So I actually work a lot on this area.
In your experience, what's one way BIM has made your work or your project easier or more enjoyable?
It's very nice every time that we go to the construction site and we see the supervisor using, for example, an iPad and actually this is how it should work.
Integrating BIM and also bringing the model to the construction management itself, it's quite a challenge. Like everyone wants to do it.
Do you want to give us small idea about what is AWP?
When we bring the concept of AWP, BIM actually is part of the AWP as well.
Do you have any famous lean codes?
What is not measured is not managed. We need to understand where we are in terms of indicators and where we should be. It's very bad that we see quite often in some construction projects that they have lots of indicators that actually doesn't show anything.
We normally do like 6-week look aheads. I really like to use BIM on this.
Should we also expect the lean champ or the lean professional who will be working as a separate, profile on site on the construction project? Top 3 AI tools which you are using right now.
Used to be ChatGPT, now it's Gemini. I'm a Gemini guy now.
How do you keep yourself updated with all the latest development going on in the industry?
I don't. I just go home and cry in fetal position because it is indeed a lot of things happening right now.
Hello guys, welcome to BIM Nova channel, and today we are interviewing two of the champs from Brazil. Tell me about yourself.
My name is Yan. I'm the business intelligence lead here at We Group, and my background is in construction management and data analytics.
Tell me about yourself.
Hi guys, I'm William. I am the lean senior engineer here at We Group. My background is also construction management, but I do some stuff as well in Ian's field with business intelligence, data analytics, and I like to play with a bit of everything, including building information modeling as well.
So, what first got you interested in lean construction, and how did you ended up working in lean?
So, this is a very nice one actually, Keval. I was always a fan of the construction site itself, right? I always like to be involved with the construction activities, not being the office. The office is important as well, right? Of course, it gives a lot of basis for the construction site job. But my main interest was being there, close to where things happen, as we say in the lean philosophy, close to the Gemba. And I started my career as an intern of construction management. So I needed to be all the time in the construction field itself. Then when I started on consultancy, I went to business intelligence because I wanted to develop myself in this technology skills, regarding to how to manage information, since that we are now going through this huge transformation of the industry regarding information itself. But then 1 year later, when I felt that I was prepared enough, then I asked for a new challenge. And coincidentally, it was specifically related to lean construction. Then I started implementing lean, learning about it, specializing myself. And since then, I never stopped.
Okay, Jan, so tell me, when did you first hear about BIM and what was your initial reaction to it?
So first time I heard about BIM was I was still on the college. I was, I think, a student there. On that time, it was still a new thing. People starting implementing it, getting to know about it. I was always ahead because I'm someone that liked to be on technology, and I think the space that I found on construction to bring technology and also implement these on our field was through BIM. So that was my first interaction. I was doing on classes. I actually, on my master's, my thesis, if you look for Yan Veras as an author, you're going to find some papers on how to do automation check on BIM models. So I actually work a lot on this area.
So, William, in your experience, what's one way Beam has made your work or your project easier or more enjoyable?
We even have recorded some videos regarding how to integrate Bing and Lean before, right? That's going to be on Instagram soon. And as a Lean champion, I need to defend how the visual management that Bing provides helps a lot construction in lots of different ways, right? So at least in Brazil, it's very hard to get high educated people to work on construction. This is a bit different here in Europe, I have noticed. But in both environments, mainly in the ones that are a bit less educated, we can see a huge improvement of precision, of accuracy, of even how to manage itself, the project, when you have been regarding when we compare with other ways where we don't have the BIM model, for example, right? It's very nice every time that we go to the construction site and we see the supervisor using, for example, an iPad and actually this is how it should work. And we're not saying that they don't know how to read drawings. They do know, but let's be very, very honest here, right? It's way easier to see the model in 3D than going straight to the drawing, and it saves us a lot of time. Maybe in coordination, I would say, So that's the kind of stuff that I like.
To be honest, I think integrating BIM and also bringing the model to the construction management itself, it's quite a challenge. Everyone wants to do it. You see people showing stuff that it's really nice to have these. Is you can do 4D, you can do this and that, but implementing these on a daily basis in a workflow that actually works, it's hard. And I'm honest in saying that I have done this before in a couple of projects. It's not an easy job, but it brings a lot of value. Like you take a lot of lessons for looking at the model, bringing it to pool plannings or maybe some path of construction workshops. When you put all the subcontractors and planners and actually going through the plan, using the model as a guide, you take a lot of lessons from that. You improve the planning, you improve the accuracy, you get better results, you remove clashes, everyone can communicate better. So I think I got good stuff from BIM in the construction management, lean construction as well.
I want to add something. It's nice that you mentioned this actually regarding the path of construction, because the AWP, the Advanced Work Packaging, actually it brings lots of concepts of less planar system, right? It's based on lean construction, agile, and also on information management, right? So it's basically these three pillars. And when we bring the concept of AWP, BIM actually is part of the AWP as well, right? So, of course, there are some attempts, and well-succeeded attempts, I would say, of making AWP work without BIM, but they require a lot of energy because the framework actually was designed, firstly, using building information modeling, right? So, we are, since the last, 25 years, 30 years, improving this methodology based on what we have as cutting edge other methodologies in the market. So again, we're talking about agile that is used by the software industry. We're talking about less planar system that is at least 20 years are already known in the market, and building information modeling that is revolutionizing the whole industry now. And you put everything together, and then you have AWP. So I think this is the future, actually, of the management of huge projects, for huge construction capital projects, right?
Okay. Do you want to give us small idea about what is AWP, like in short term? And is this coming under the umbrella of lean, or is it separate terminology?
Well, AWP stands for Advanced Work Packaging, right? It was developed for basically two different institutions in the west the globe by the Construction Owners Association of Alberta and by the Construction Industry Institute of Canada, if I'm not wrong, right?
I think the CII is American, Alberta is Canada.
That's good. Yeah. And these guys are working on how to improve the workflow of the construction packages that we're delivering on site. So we have basically three very well delimited deliverables to make sure that a construction work package is going to be delivered, right? So it's the construction itself, it's the procurement for it, and it's the engineering, right? Everything else is important, like of course safety, quality, but they are auxiliary, let's say like this, to make sure that the construction is going to happen. So what we do in AWP is, first of all, it's a construction-driven mindset, right? So we try to plan backwards, like the pool planning sessions as well, having the construction mindset in mind and bringing, okay, to deliver this construction work package at this day, when do I need to have all the procurement packages? When do I need to have, for this, all the engineering work packages, right? And of course, it's way more complex than this. We have inside the AWP another concept that is called work phase planning that is similar to last planner system, but there are some differences. And as I mentioned before, it's not under the umbrella of lean, but it drinks from the same source because it gets it's a trio of factors that create the AWP, right? Again, it's the lean thinking, it's the agile mindset, and it's information management. Together, information management, and by information management, understand like everything related to technology, right? Being as well. So when we merge these three mindsets, these three philosophies, then you have AWP, right? So it's not exactly under the umbrella.
Amazing, yeah. That was a good explanation. Okay. Do you have any famous lean quotes which you came across in your, walk of experience?
Lean quotes.
Yeah. Any of the lean quotes?
Okay. It's not exactly a lean quote because when we mention lean, it always comes to mind the Toyota guys, right? Yeah. But I have heard this once that I was in a workshop in a huge beverage company in Brazil, and I never forgot because I use this mindset every single day, mainly with my clients, right? It is what is not measured is not management. It's not managed, right? Okay. So
you want to repeat it again?
Yeah. What is not measured is not managed. So to make sure that we have indeed management somewhere, we need to have the basics of measurement. We need to understand where we are in terms of indicators and where we should be. It's very bad that we see quite often in some construction projects that they have lots of indicators that actually doesn't show anything. And this is also part of the lean work, right? Okay, let's show things that are meaningful, that indeed bring you insights, and not only curves that are pretty. You talk a lot about them, but actually they don't give you any valuable insights that you can use to your decision-taking process, right?
So, Yan, if someone wants to start their career in BIM along with their, principle of the lean implementation, what would be the first step they should, start with?
I think to be able to do that, you have to have a strong base on construction management, of course. I think the way where you most use lean is the lean construction itself. So if you go to a site, work as a construction manager or in this umbrella of planning, you're going to see the last plan system in action. If you work in a company or in a project that's using the lean methodologies. So having this structured process as the last plan system as a basis, you can start bringing the BIM as a tool or as a resource to help you visualize what's happening on the planning system, and also use it to feed the whole process and give you more insights, more control, having more control of the process what's actually happening in the construction. So especially on visualizing the constraint It's one of the steps of the last planning system, the constraint management. We normally do like 6-week look aheads. I really like to use BIM on this. Like you have your model, you link your packages or your construction activities with the elements on the model, and you get your constraints and visualize them on the model. So you can see like in red where you cannot work right now because of a specific type of constraint, or why you're blocked, why you're not. And when you bring that on a constraint meeting, a 6-week look ahead, I think it engages the team to work in the right direction to solve and to clear the path for the construction.
All right. Okay. You want to summarize the same thing?
I want to comment actually what you brought as well, because a lot of what you mentioned is related to, again, information, right? So it's red, it's green, it's released, it's not. So we need to bring this information from somewhere, right? And my advice would be, we need to have a very clear understanding of the information workflow in the construction, because this is very hard to manage. And this is one of the most important things that can make BIM work, the information management, the data analytics itself work, and lean construction work. And of course, it's quite of a cycle, right? They depend on each other simultaneously. So lean depends on information management also depends on lean. It's quite of a paradox. That's why our projects are so complex, and that's why it's so exciting, I would say, right? So it's something that I'm pretty sure that none of you have when you're working with construction any day that is like, oh my God, this is a boring day, because the days are always like very exciting. It's always very, very hectic, I would say, right? So a profile that appreciates this kind of environment and is proactive enough to go after the solutions to make it a bit more controlled is a profile that it doesn't matter the path that's going to follow, it will be well succeeded in life.
Okay. Really nice. And nowadays we are seeing BIM professionals on site, right? Should we also expect the lean champ or the lean professional who will be working as a separate, profile on site on the construction project?
I don't see the lean guys out of the construction site, to be honest, right? All the lean construction consultants that I have seen so far, they are very connected to the site, because we need to collect inputs from there. Okay. Again, as I mentioned before, we have a concept in lean called Gemba that is basically where things happen. So in the lean philosophy, we use this a lot because sometimes, not always, it is reliable, the information that comes to us. So we use a lot this go and see. So go there, go to the field and see and try to understand what is indeed happening, because then it's going to help you to take your decisions, right? And I also believe in the hybrid profile. Yeah. So I think that people who understand, like you guys, who understand a bit of everything, but are specialized in one thing. For example, you understand of lean, BIM, but you're specialized in information management. I think this kind of profiles, it doesn't matter exactly in what is the specialization, is very, very valuable in the construction projects that we have, because we don't have a lot. And this gives an understanding of basically the full life cycle, or every time that we incorporate one new knowledge, we have at least one more phase that you understand better. So this is what I believe as well.
Okay, got it. And any favorite lean book which you are following, or any lean, LinkedIn profile, any person profile you are following the most?
Okay, I really like the Lean Builder. The Lean Builder, the book. I don't remember the name of the author, but basically it's a story. It's like a novel, basically, a romance, where they explain the last planner system based on a very, very nice story. It's very light to read, So it's very good for introductory concepts for people who have never, even for people a bit more experienced, I would say. It's very nice to consolidate some concepts in a way that it's not a heavy reading. So I really appreciate that, because some books we see that they are very dense in terms of knowledge, and mainly the new generations, we know that they have difficulties to focus, right? Well, this a problem of this generation, right? It's also my problem. I'm also from this generation, so I also have.
recommend a TikTok now.
Yeah, right. And a person I could recommend, now that we're talking about TikTok, I could recommend my profile on Instagram, because I do have some stuff there in regarding to Lean. So it's at William Moura if you want to follow. And of course, I have my mentors in Brazil that I really appreciate all the help that they gave to me to make me the professional that I am today. So it's a lot of names, a lot of good references on Lean. I just would like to mention all of them here, but I think that it's not fair if I forget someone. So just a big hug, and for all of you guys, that's all.
That's sweet. That's very, very sweet. Do you have any LinkedIn profile or LinkedIn person, or the person whom you have met, in conferences or event, who is expert in Lean? Do you follow any one of him?
I think I'm gonna be the opposite of Will this time. It's not like I wouldn't say like a fast reading or someone that create like fast content for you. But I think if you're going on the Lean construction, you need to read like the inception works of Lauri Koskela, the guy that created the whole theory of how the Lean methodology, Lean thinking applies to construction. And if you're going to work with the last plan system, you have to read the Glenn Ballard work on the guy who actually created the system. So I think if you find those guys they always on conferences, and they are nice people. I think that some of the people that you should be looking at and looking at what they're doing.
Okay, interesting. So, William, what is the most used AI tools which you are using now these days?
The most used what? Sorry?
AI tools.
AI tools.
Yeah.
Well, now I have been used Gemini a lot. Gemini in GPT. I have been testing different prompts to check like which perform better. I have noticed that each one perform better for different tasks. Napkin as well. I think Napkin is a bit universal, right? Yeah, it helps a lot to develop some nice visuals. As I mentioned before, visual management is very helpful. So it helps a lot to convey the message in a more visual way. And I haven't tested yet, but this is the one that I am the most interested at this moment. That is called Flow. It was released, I think, in May this year, 2025. And it is basically the Google AI for video generation. Yeah. It has a very high precision. And I think that in the world that we are now of content creation, it's going to change a lot of how the marketing world works, how we convey messages through videos, through images. I am looking forward to understanding how can we use this kind of technology to apply to construction,
Okay, interesting. What about you? Top 3 AI tools which you are using right now?
Top one, I used to be ChatGPT. Now it's Gemini. I'm a Gemini guy now. I have to recommend a workflow I always use a lot when I need to do something or learn about something. I do a very nice prompt asking exactly what I want to learn about, how I want to learn about, and I use the research function. So in 10 minutes, he look at like 60 or 7 websites for me and papers and whatever they found on the internet and build a full research for me. And of course, since I'm in a hurry, I don't want to read the research. I use the Canvas function for him to summarize this in an infographic and ask questions about the research. So that's a nice workflow that I use a lot. So might be interesting. The other AI tools that I use, I think the Napkin is another one that I use a lot, but I think that was I present to them guys. So I think that's my contribution here. And something that I'm having a look right now is the N8N. It's for doing AI driven automated workflows. It's a bit like what Power Automate does,
Yeah.
but using AI to take the decision where to go, what to do when in the steps of the automations. And the other ones is also the Copilot as well. We do some stuff on Copilot Studio here, and they are implementing a lot of new stuff. For example, now you can trigger the Copilots based on different situations, so you don't need always to ask stuff. So you can build like agentic copilots that can do stuff for you. So you can automate some stuff on your work without you even seeing. So things happening behind work. I think that's the future of AI. Like, not be chatting with someone. Things are gonna happen because you told them to do it, and they're gonna learn, do it, and just show you the results. So we need to be there when this future happens.
We need to work with AI now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hire a couple of AI assistants for me.
Correct. Got it. Yeah. Perfect. Last question. How do you keep yourself updated, William? How do you keep yourself updated with all the latest development going on in the industry, with your field, with AI fields, or any other, industry trends?
I think the real answer would be I don't. I just go home and cry in fetal position because it is indeed a lot of things happening right now. Right? A lot. I think that one of the most valuable skills that we can develop at this moment is to understand how to filter what is valuable, what is not. Right. Because lots of stuff are there. If we don't filter, we can start a lot of stuff and we don't finish anything. Yes. So this is very hard. What I try to do is set some goals that I have, like they're internal for myself. Yeah. So for example, goals of knowledge that I would like to acquire in a specific amount of time. And then I try to focus and be attached to that goal until I reach it. And then once I reach it, then I open a new slot for a new kind of knowledge. Mm-hmm. So for example, I am interested in flow now, but I don't have a slot at this moment. Yeah. Then I'm going to finish my previous knowledge that I'm working right now. And once I finish it, then okay, now I have a new slot. What is the most important tool that I can use, or the most important kind of knowledge that I can acquire that's going to contribute to my career? Then okay, it's flow. Let's go for flow. I think this is way more related to time management and priorities management than availability of information.
Also your personalized requirement.
Exactly.
Based on what you want to do.
Yeah,
okay.
That's it.
Interesting. What about you, Yan? How do you keep yourself updated? Like if you want to see any of the news that Gemini released this 2.5 today, how will you get this type of news?
From technology. I kind of look at the release notes sometimes, because, like for example, I use a lot of Power BI on a daily basis. They release a monthly update. Mm-hmm. I always look at the video, read the documentation of the release, because it's kind of sometimes something useful for me, sometimes not. But I just keep myself updated on the tools that I'm using right now. Okay. I'm also part of some like Reddit subforums that I am looking sometimes. And I sign a newsletter, like I choose one news about the world that I need to know. For example, what's happening in politics or history, or who is fighting who, or what's happening in Brazil. So I read 5 minutes every day in the morning. Okay. The news, the name of the newsletter. It's a Brazilian one, but it's very good.
Okay, interesting. So what I do is, I have this newsletter subscription to the Rundown AI, and it gives me all the latest updates daily. So this is, in today's AI rundown, Google's big Gemini 2.5 Pro update, Anthropic Cloud, and it also gives you in detail news. Sometimes it gives you tutorial of how to do some stuff, how to translate any video into multiple language. And it's daily updated based on what is going on in the industry. So we don't have to look everywhere. It will just give a daily email. I just need to see 5 minutes just to see the headlines, not in detail. Okay,
if
and that will
interesting something, you go.
Then you go in detail. So yeah, this is how I keep myself updated. So there are multiple newsletter like this. So one which I follow is Rundown AI.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
I think if you also follow the right person on LinkedIn, you every time you open the LinkedIn, you get some new stuff. You get some good content.
This is a thing that I do actually regarding social media. For AI, instead of newsletter, I follow a page on Instagram. It's called AI Evolving.
Yes.
Incredible. Every single day they put something new there. What is happening regarding the AI world. I'm not as patient as you guys to read the newsletters, so I just try to keep myself posted. While I'm scrolling, on Instagram. So
Yeah.
actually,
At
the
least
flow
it's
was
productive
yeah, so
scrolling, right? Not
productive
dumb
scrolling,
scrolling.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I have my Beam Kid account in Instagram just only for those type of feed.
Yeah.
If I go to Hindi to Iris, it will be just giving the entertainment feed. If I go to my personal, it will be very different. So if I go and search only and scroll in Beam Kid, I will get all the productive stuff. So
That's interesting.
yeah, it's all about the feed.
futures.
Yeah, it's all about the feed now. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
the
you,
second
Keval.
episode of BIM Nova. And if someone wants to contact you guys, I'm gonna share your LinkedIn profile. I'm
do.
gonna share your YouTube and the Instagram channel, and they might contact you for any type of queries. Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Follow
Thank you,
there.
guys.
I'm trying to get Keval's here, but he has so many followers.
Thank you.